welcome back anyone who is joining us again, or if you're new here, we are revisiting the Ezio trilogy in the Assassin's Creed series to see if each of the games hold up in 2025. So this has been an absolute delight to revisit for me personally, and I've probably sunk in about, probably about 6 to 8 hours.
Okay.
I've been really enjoying it.
Yeah.
What about you? I'm assuming you've played it for a few hours this week?
Yeah, probably about 4 to 5 hours.
Okay, nice. So for anyone who hasn't played or just wants a bit of a refresher, so Brotherhood picks up right where Assassin's Creed 2 left off, and honestly, it's got big shoes to fill, and basically
Definitely
it's continuing the story of Ezio Auditore da Firenze, but this time Ezio is no longer a young man, David. He's no longer seeking revenge. He's a master assassin leading the charge against the powerful Borgia family in Roma. So I just want to actually start off just real quick by talking about how good the visuals look in this game. So I don't know if you notice it, David, but for me, there was quite a significant jump when it came to the leap in colors and textures in this game compared to AC2. So in Assassin's Creed 2, everything just looked like it had this muddy sheen over top of everything. But in this game, everything just looks just significantly more crisp. It's instantly noticeable from the opening in the Vatican. You look at all the colors in that underground tomb kind of area, all the blues and the hues. But one moment in particular that has always stood out to me is when Ezio gets his first white assassin robe and he's being nursed back to health, and he's, stepping outside, taking in the sights of Rome, and everything just looks so fucking good here. And I would argue that I think that this is probably Ezio's best Assassin's Creed suit.
I have to agree with you. I love that suit. That robe. It's just
It fits our boy so good, what can I say?
It does.
But yeah, and also the skybox of Rome itself, and just seeing the vast city, it's just fucking unreal. But you're just
fanboying over it.
I know, I'm just fanboying over here. Please take the mic away from me for a sec, David. So tell me what's some of your initial thoughts of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood?
Where do I even start? This game, like you said, had really big shoes to fill, especially stepping off from Assassin's Creed 2. And I remember when it was first announced, it was just a year after AC2's release, but just the graphical overhaul when you first play it is incredible, especially with Rome as a backdrop. I think it's impressive
with keeping in mind how quick the turnaround time was.
Yeah, massively quick. It was, less than a year? 11 months maybe?
Yeah, it was a 1 year dev cycle, and the same with Revelations as well.
Yeah, crazy that they were able to present this game in the way that it is, and it could have flopped. It really could have went the other way. They could have rushed it and it could have flopped, but they killed it with this, because not only did it improve on the gameplay mechanics, but the story was just much more engaging, like Assassin's Creed 2. And I loved every minute of playing this game again and revisiting it because of just how good it was. It is still currently, I would say. Rome as a backdrop.
Spoiler for the end of this episode.
Ezio, revisiting Ezio, not as a young man, but more of an older man in a way. I mean, rebuilding the Brotherhood. So it's not a story about revenge, but it's a little bit about revenge. But
it's almost like tying the ribbon, so to speak, or making sure everything is finished, so to speak.
It's finished.
Yeah.
New weapons, new mechanics.
Oh my god. Finally we get the crossbow.
We get the crossbow so long. Finally we get the crossbow.
Yeah.
And my favorite button is the instant win button, when you want to assassinate a group of people and you just hit that instant win button, and then your little assassin minions come out of nowhere.
Oh, it's so cool. The little animation as well. It's kind of badass, dude. It's really, really cool.
Really is.
As we were kind of touching on, the story unfolds as Ezio liberates Rome from the Borgia control, district by district, which, it kind of got me thinking. So obviously Rome is the star of the show here, I think.
It is.
This open world city, when I first played this when I was younger, I thought to myself, I don't know if I'm going to get bored with this city, but I think that Ubisoft has done a really good job at making sure that the map and just the environment, the whole city itself, felt diverse enough. You got your rolling green hills, you've got your city, you've got the disparity between all the districts, and it's got a lot of content, which is really nice.
Especially when it's just contained in that one city. Coming from obviously Assassin's Creed 2, where you had multiple cities, they really did a lot to make sure that this city felt big enough that you could do anything and explore and not get bored with it.
Oh, it's massive, dude. But the one thing, it got me thinking a little bit, because I have said on this podcast, our podcast before, and if you haven't checked out our gaming podcast yet, I'll leave a link in the comments and the description of this video. But please subscribe, please. But the one thing that I've said is that I genuinely think that either this game or Revelations is probably my favorite from the Ezio trilogy and or possibly from the whole series. But I don't love this game as much as I thought I would have, because I feel like this time around, maybe just with the power of hindsight, I'm wondering and thinking to myself, is this the early stages of the classic Ubisoft Stronghold gameplay loop with the Borgia towers and having to do the whole rinse and repeat and all that stuff? Because, you know, you had your viewpoints and all that stuff in AC2, which is fine, but I do like the added element of like, okay, here's a story sense of you, like, you know, you have to kill the Borgia captain, you have to ignite the tower, and like it gives you a function and a purpose for doing it. But I'm just like, this also kind of just feels a little bit like Far Cry to a certain degree. But let's move on from that for a little bit. Let's actually just talk about what's new in this game. So as we've touched on, we've got the Brotherhood system. So, you know, this is the game's namesake feature, and you know, you're essentially trying to recruit an army of assassins to take the Pope and the Borgia. And I just think that is just such a cool mechanic. Just this idea of like, you know, this badass moment where you can just be walking and then just trigger assassins to take people out for you while you're traveling along. I think that's so cool. This game as well, even though I don't think you can play it anymore, it also introduced multiplayer.
I'm so glad you mentioned that.
Dude, the multiplayer. Some of my favorite multiplayer memories, and it is really clever. The setting of it is basically that you're playing as Abstergo agents and you're trying to train yourselves up to, basically assassinate each other. And it's like kind of like a Hitman sandbox in a way where you've got a target and you have to figure out which one is the actual player, and you're penalized if you kill an NPC who looks the same. But if you get that person, you're trying to just get the most kills and points. By
it rewards you for being stealthy. So if you're reckless, you're not going to get the same amount of points as you were if you were to do a very stealthy kill.
Exactly, and it's mayhem, it's chaos, and it's just so much fun. I would say though, I think the UI and the HUD and like all that stuff, it looks amazing, and even the menus, like honestly, my favorite menus to date is from this game. So
crisp and clean.
It's so good. Yeah, that's what I mean. It just looks so refined and so good. But I would actually kind of say that overall, outside of, you know, there's this really cool new combat mechanic where, you know, you can automatically kind of kill people if you're in this
chain kills. You can chain kills.
The chain kills, yeah. I would actually say that the parkour and traversal, I didn't really notice as much of a leap from this time around compared to, say, like Assassin's Creed 1 going to Assassin's Creed 2. I felt like this is a little bit more polished. But I don't know, what do you think? I guess we're kind of floating around gameplay at the moment. So what do you think of the gameplay in Borderlands? I keep going to say Borderlands. Oh God, I gotta stop playing Borderlands. In Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Look, I love the gameplay in Brotherhood. I think it's just Assassin's Creed 2, just tweaked a bit more polished bit with the combat and the new features around the Brotherhood, and obviously having the crossbow and the new arsenal weapons. I think it's just more what I love of Ezio or the Assassin's Creed series. And I could, once I started playing it, and I got to a point probably about 4 hours, and like I could keep playing this.
Dude, it just flows.
It just flows.
It's got a good pace.
And the main antagonist, what's his name? Cesare Borgia. Cesare Borgia, sorry. Is just so well portrayed, and he's such a little shit, and it just pushes you forward. Just pushes you forward because you just really want to ruin this guy's day, and you just I just love every little bit of nook and cranny and doing the side activities. You're saying that obviously doing the Borgia towers you found quite boring. I quite enjoyed them. I loved.
I don't think they're boring. It felt a little bit repetitive. I think.
Yeah. I kind of like them. I love just going into a stronghold and just dismantling it from the inside. It's just so satisfying. But yeah, loved. It's just Assassin's Creed 2 with a little bit more tweak and just more polish, and I can't fault it for that.
Yeah,
so I can see how people say they play a little bit safe, but I think of the old saying: if it's not broken, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
100%, and that's kind of been my outlook towards this game for a while now. Like back when it first came out, a lot of people touted this game as being Assassin's Creed 2.5, and you can't really blame them because it is kind of what it is. But in hindsight, it's just like, man, this game does actually improve on what Assassin's Creed 2 has, and it's actually it's pretty damn good. It's really, it's just a good fucking game. Like there's just so much here, and I'd actually say that all things considered, even though it's a game just based on Rome, I'd actually say that the game improves upon its mission variety on
I agree.
Assassin's Creed 2. And I just think it's really impressive. And I do feel like this game does noticeably throw a lot more side missions or objectives your way this time around, though, compared to Assassin's Creed 2. Like, whether you're into it or not, it really does come down to personal preference. But I do feel like it does pad out the runtime in Brotherhood a little bit more. Like, you've got your memories with Christina and Florence from Ezio's younger years, which I've always really liked. You've got the layers of Romulus, which I think that in itself is really cool. If you get all 6, similar to the previous game, you get the armor of Brutus, I believe.
I hate that armor. It looks
I never
so
liked
ugly.
it.
It looks hideous.
It looks fucking stupid, dude.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
You've got the Da Vinci machine missions.
I was about to mention that.
Yeah.
I love
and of course,
the
you've also got
war
the
machines.
Borgia towers. Yeah, the war machines. But yeah, so I think that there's a lot on offer here, and I just think that, again, it's just really polished. I love the story. All of the characters as well, the cast itself, it's nice because it's not really introducing you to all of these characters. Like, they're all characters that are built upon from the previous game, and I think that the story really benefits from that.
Yeah, no, and I agree, and it flows even better with obviously the modern day story about how with Desmond and Lucy and
thank God. Yeah,
that
was my next point. Yeah,
Rebecca and Sean, who go to what's the city called?
Montigione. I've always
Montigione. I always struggled.
I've always struggled to say it. Yeah.
To find where Ezio left the piece of Eden before the Templars get it. Loved obviously the how it delves more into those characters as well, because we really get to see them obviously from the difference between Assassin's Creed 2 to Brotherhood, especially with that ending. That ending, that ending. Oh my god, that was even a bigger twist than Assassin's Creed 2 ending.
Yeah, we'll touch on that, but let's talk about the modern day story for a little bit because I guess we're talking about it now. So in Brotherhood, Desmond is becoming more capable thanks to the bleeding effect, and Desmond actually gets some parkour missions of his own, which is really cool. And you were bringing up modern day Monteriggioni, which I just think it's really cool that they're hiding out here, him and his posse, and it's really cool that you can just kind of traverse it and just see what little has changed or how much has changed, and it's cool to just see it in a different era or setting. I think that's really unique and intriguing, and I also feel like the actual intrigue of the modern day story is building as the stakes feel higher, and it's almost like a race against the clock to find the apple to beat the Templars. And I just think that the stakes have never been higher in the series so far, but that does kind of bring me neatly along towards the ending. So are you happy for me to talk about the ending for a little bit?
Yeah, well, I took over for the Assassin's Creed 2 ending, please.
So basically, Desmond and co discover that there's like a vault, basically, I don't know what else to call it, underneath the Colosseum. They go there, and Desmond touches the Apple of Eden, essentially just freezing time and space around him, I should say. Juno appears, well, I don't know if she really like physically appears necessarily, but it's more just like she's controlling his body, and basically forces him to stab Lucy. You're like trying to mash your buttons to like try and fight it, and there's like nothing you can do. And it's just like, you're like, what the fuck is going on? This is like crazy. Like, where is this going? And then, obviously once you have played it before, you're like, oh, it's pretty obvious what's happening. But
exactly,
after looking into this further, you actually don't find out that Lucy is a Templar double agent. Spoiler, that she's a Templar double agent until the Lost Archive DLC from AC Revelations. So supposedly the reason why Juno does this is because Lucy would have eventually betrayed the assassins and Desmond, which would ultimately prevent Juno's plan for humanity. So that's why she took control of Desmond to kill her, which I guess it kind of makes sense, but it's just, The one critique I will have is that in hindsight, as much as I love the modern day conspiracy stuff from these games, I definitely noticed that this ending had a lot more of that Lost or that mystery box speak than the previous two games, like talking in riddles, like Juno's like, awaken the sixth and stuff like that. And I'm just like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you're talking vaguely purely just for the sake of setting up more intrigue for the audience, but rather than actually just being mysterious. So that shit kind of bugged me. But what do you think of the ending?
Look, I really did like the ending when I first played it back when it first came out, really was like, what the hell? Why did we just stab Lucy? And, left on a cliffhanger. Is Lucy alive? Is she dead? In hindsight now, the more that I think about it, now knowing that you find out Lucy's a Templar behind a DLC that you have to pay for, just really kind of irks me the wrong way. Yeah. Because if it wasn't for that DLC, people didn't play that DLC. A lot of the other fans don't know exactly why Desmond killed Lucy.
Yeah.
And I do agree with, obviously, the riddles talking, because if I think about the ending, I rewatched the ending in preparation for this. When I was rewatching it, just watching it happen, and the player resisting, and what Juno was saying, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
It just feels like gobbledygook.
It feels like gobbledygook, and it kind of shows. I don't know if this was a point where maybe Ubisoft didn't know what to do with the modern story, or they were kind of losing focus. Because halfway through it, she could just be rapping Rap God, and I wouldn't know.
Yeah, it made me wonder. Like, looking back at Assassin's Creed 2, I'm just like, was this just a stroke of like just pure luck that you just happen to write the right things for Minerva when she's in that temple and she's talking to Desmond through Ezio? It's just like that in itself is such a mind-blowing premise that carries this whole situation. It kind of bridges the gap of unbelievability, if that makes sense, or you can kind of suspend your disbelief. But with this, it started feeling like gobbledygook, or just like window dressing, just whatever. It just felt like, okay, I'm now thinking about this rather than actually just experiencing it or taking it in. And the second I start thinking about it, it means that there's something missing here. And the ending here could have been handled a little tighter and more polished. All the stuff with actual Ezio, I think, is perfect in this game.
Oh, it's peak.
There's just the modern day stuff here. It just left me wanting a little bit more, I think.
Yeah, I feel like the ending kind of makes it lose a step a bit in hindsight now. But everything to do with Ezio's continuation of his story, especially as an amazing protagonist as he is, you fell in love with him in Assassin's Creed 2, and there's just more to love here in Brotherhood.
Absolutely. But David, I think before we reach our verdict of whether this game still holds up in 2025, I think it's time for Easter eggs. It's Easter egg time, buddy.
I love Easter eggs. Yes.
I love Easter eggs. All right, so I only got a couple here that I wanted to go through with you. So believe it or not, David, there's actually a couple of Metal Gear Solid Easter eggs in this game.
I know which one you're talking about.
There's two of them. So
there's two?
First, before you reunite with Leonardo da Vinci, which, by the way, in the last episode, you managed to...
Let's not talk about it.
Okay.
I know we do.
Okay,
DiCaprio and Da Vinci.
Yeah, so Ezio comes across a modern-day factory-made cardboard box, which it suggestively is housing Leonardo. This is in reference to Metal Gear Solid, as hiding in a cardboard box is a signature tactic of several protagonists from the series. Is this the one you were thinking of?
Yeah, this is the one I'm thinking of, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because I always thought that, I'm like, whenever I played it before, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Is this like a modern day cardboard box? This is so random.
When I will try to do this meme perfectly this time. When I did see the box the first time, I literally did the meme from Leonardo DiCaprio's movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where I pointed at the TV.
There we go. We got it right. Okay, so the second Metal Gear Solid Easter egg, it's actually in the form of an unlockable skin. So if you complete every challenge in the Animus Virtual Training Program with at least a bronze medal, you will unlock the Raiden skin. You literally just look like Raiden, except with Ezio's head.
I did not know that.
That's pretty damn cool. I didn't know that either.
It looks wrong. You son of a bitch.
You've done it again.
You done it again.
All right, moving along. So the name of the achievement or trophy, Grand Theft Dressage, which is earned for stealing 5 horses from their riders, is a reference to the iconic Grand Theft Auto series. Wow! I didn't put 2 and 2 together. That's crazy.
I thought it was for Saints Row.
Oh! I thought it was for Mind's Eye. Anyway, and lastly, at the end of the memory Ascension, Machiavelli states, "I intend to write a book about you one day," to Ezio, who responds, "If you do, make it short." This is in reference to Machiavelli's famously brief book, The Prince, which typically is between about 80 to 160 pages in length.
Oh, I did not know that.
Very clever, very crazy, very clever. Thank you for joining me for Easter eggs, David.
See what you did there, Ubisoft?
Yes, I see what you did there. I Leonardo DiCaprio, the thing that you did there. But
Da Vinci?
Da Vinci. I haven't thought about those guys in such a long time.
It just appeared in my brain. The brain rot is real.
Anyway, all right. So let's start closing out this video, David. I want to know: do you think that this game still holds up in 2025?
100% yes. This game, literally, like I said earlier, is Assassin's Creed 2 more polished and just more refined with more of what you love or what you love in the series. Still holds up well to this day. It looks great. The city looks beautiful. The character design and models look great. The new combat mechanics just make it so much easier just to dispatch enemies. You will have an amazing time revisiting this game in 2025 or for your first time playing it in 2025.
Absolutely, and I pretty much echo your sentiment there. I think the story and everything to do with Ezio is amazing. I do think that there are highs and lows when it comes to the modern day story, but if you're looking at just an incredible gameplay experience, it just has such a cracking pace, but it doesn't feel like it's going too fast. It just feels like it's going the perfect pace. I think that this is probably one of the best Assassin's Creed games you could play.
100%.
I do still think, for me personally, it's probably a little bit higher up than Assassin's Creed 2, but I think overall you can't go wrong with any of the Ezio trilogy games. So if you agree or disagree with what we said or our assessment, please let us know in the comments below. I'd be very curious to hear people's thoughts. And next week, make sure you stick around we're going to close out this Ezio trilogy with, of course, Assassin's Creed Revelations. I'm so fucking excited to play that game.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Oh my god, I'm so excited to do a bit of tower defense, am I right? I'm very keen to... I'm keen to throw a couple of bombs, am I right? That's a weird thing to say.
Okay, wow, okay.
All right, see ya.
See you guys.